Morning, welcome back to Ride Run Repeat. Catch me on my way to Tokai again. It's gonna be a short video. If you're not interested in camera settings or any of that stuff, you might want to tune out now. Basically, I'm just testing some setting changes I've made. So you would have noticed in the last video, as I said, I got it quite wrong and stabilization was off. Wasn't really happy with the footage, so I've made a couple of changes. Still running 4K, this time at 30 frames per second as opposed to 25, and then instead of running 1/100th of a second shutter speed as I was in the previous video, I've now doubled that to 1/200th of a second. So in theory, stabilization should be better and overall quality should be better. Still running RockSteady on the Osmo Action 4. RockSteady Plus crops in a bit too much. So yeah, gonna be a short ride. Probably just going up to Mamba and then dropping in, and then hopefully stabilization and everything works as expected. Just navigate this and then we're good to go for the weekend, where I plan to go up north. So yeah, I just want to dial my settings in before I head to the north. So catch you further up in the mountain, and then we'll do a drop Mamba to, what's it? Is it Snake Eyes? I don't know, the one before Wrinkles, and Vasbyt, and we'll check what the stabilization is like. So catch you then. Matt Peel's flying past me there. Legit thought it was an e-bike. Good. Matt doing some laps there. Probably out on an easy ride today. Okay, so I just stopped for a little break. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 2 runs down Mamba. First one I'm gonna do with my old settings. So it's gonna be 4K, 25, RockSteady, 1/100th of a second D-Log 10-bit. And then I'll come back up and I'll switch to my new settings, which would be 4K 30, 1/200th of a second, still RockSteady and D-Log. I'm running ND16 for both. I thought I would run the 32 for 4K 25 1/100th, but it looks fine, I think. So I'm gonna keep the ND16 on, and I'm gonna drop into Mamba now, and then do another run and we'll compare the footage. Okay, run 1, Mamba, it's 4K 25 and 1/100th of a second. Rock gardens. And another 2 coming up now the corner. and the last one. So we exit here. Okay, that was run one, the old settings. I'll do a bit of a climb back up, do another run. I'm going to go all the way down to the top of Wrinkles and then check back to see what the footage looks like. Run 2, 4K 30, 1/200 of a second. See if this is any better. Good test. That's all. Southeast is bumping today. And that's it. Wasn't the flowiest run I've ever done, but still quite nice. So we'll do Vasbyt and we'll head home and see if the footage is any better. Right, so about to drop into Vasbyt. Southeast is pumping, so same settings here, 4K 30, 1/200 a second. Only difference is I'm running in ND8 here and I was running in ND16 up top. So colors or exposure should be a little bit brighter. It's super windy, so I'm going to take it a bit easy down Vasbyt. Right, Vasbyt. 4K 30, 1/200, ND8. So windy. It is here. sniper there. And dropping in. That's acid. Yo, editing gigs here. So if we take a look at these clips side by side, we can see that this clip on the right is a lot smoother. Now why is that? Well, if you know anything about shooting video, you know that generally you use like a 180-degree shutter rule, which means that your shutter speed is double that of your frame rate. So if you're using, let's say, 30 frames per second as I am here, you'd use 1/160th of a second shutter speed to get some natural motion blur and whatever. However, I think what we need to understand is how action camera stabilization works. So it's not actually moving the sensor itself to stabilize the footage. It's actually cropping in and using software and algorithms and so to sort of stabilize your footage. At least that's how it is now in 2025 as I record this. Maybe it changes in future, I don't know. But yeah, I was about 3 seconds ahead, so that's why the right is a bit ahead. But other than that, the algorithm relies on sort of clear frames or clear images to do its stabilization. And when you're riding off-road, you're not always going to get, or you're hardly going to get clear images to give it. So that's why you can't use those very low shutter speeds and the 180-degree rule. Now, initially I used 1/100th of a second and 25 frames per second because I thought, I could get away with it. Maybe if you're riding on the road or very smooth gravel, you could. But off-road, it's just, as you could see, very unusable. So to compensate, I went up to 30 frames per second, so to give it 5 more frames to work with, and then I doubled the shutter speed to 1/200th of a second. So that seems to give it as clear images as it needs to do the stabilization. You could go a bit faster, and in later videos I do up to 1/240th of a second just to deal with those compressions and those bumps, where you see it still struggles a little bit here. But yeah, I mean, those seem to be my settings that works. So it's 1/200th, 1/240th of a second, 30 frames per second, always 4K, always D-Log 10-bit, and RockSteady. RockSteady Plus zooms in a little bit too much. So I've left in some clips here from some gravelly or road areas. You can see how it performs. If you're not riding on rocky terrain, you could probably get away with low shutter speeds. As I said, just keep in mind that if you do select lower shutter speeds, you will need ND filters, which I'm running here as well. They'll make those for DJI and GoPro, and I think Insta360 as well. So yeah, that's it. This is definitely the settings I'm going to be sticking with for the foreseeable future. I think you guys should try it out as well if you are into shooting action sports footage. If you learned something today, give the video a like. It doesn't really cost you anything. And if you do have any questions about any of the settings here or how I shoot these videos, please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll do my best to answer them. Get subscribed for more content. The next video will actually be from some trails up north, and the running content, I promise, is coming very soon. So if you want to see that, get subscribed to the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next one.